What if the events of the Dragon Ball timeline played out differently? If Goku's power faltered? If Gohan couldn't muster the strength? If they all failed? A mysterious force has been tearing apart the very fabric of reality, manipulating the Dragon Ball timeline for its own dark desires. Beyond space and time, however, the Kaioshin of Time, Chronoa, watches on. She must ensure history plays out as it should, but she can't do it alone. This is Dragon Ball Xenoverse, a time-spanning adventure originally released February 2015 and developed by Dimps. It was a daring new step for both Dragon Ball games and their storytelling. So today, let's look back at the story and lore of the game, exploring just what our heroes had to go through to ensure the safety of the timeline we know and love. But first, a bit of background. The game focuses on the Time Patrol. This was an element first introduced in the MMO Dragon Ball Online, which had involvement from Akira Toriyama and greatly expanded the lore, but sadly never made it out of Asia. So, after the future was saved, Trunks was approached by the Kaioshin of Time, who was extremely upset at his actions. In order to atone for this sin, Future Trunks joined her as a time patroller to correct anomalies through time. This is where our story begins, with a retrospective look at Goku's many battles. The epic finale on the exploding planet Namek against Frieza, the short battle against Cell in the Cell games, where Goku stepped down to bring Gohan in, and the universe-saving final Genkidama against Majin Buu. All moments in time that brought peace to the universe in one way or the other. But through the less than stellar opening, we see these villains are gaining some kind of dark power, making them evil-er. But Trunks has noticed this, and he has a plan. Using the Dragon Balls, Trunks wishes for a hero like no other, us. It's worth noting that the stock avatar is this guy with red hair. He's often called Ace, but he's not our hero this time. Meet our savior for this story, Celery, a Saiyan from a time unknown. Perhaps the past? The future? Who knows? All that he knows is that he's confused by this turn of events. It is now age 850, 76 years after Goku defeated Kid Buu, and 60 years after Goku leaves with Shenron in the GT continuity. Celery finds himself in a strange yet beautiful place, with Trunks standing before him. The Time Patroller hopes that this new ally will be enough to deal with the cracks in time. But first, he has to test him out. Without hesitation, Trunks rushed at Celery. This serves as the tutorial, where we showcase that we can at least handle ourselves in a fight. Celery still has a lot to learn, but he can at least deal with Trunks for now, as he introduces us to Toki Toki City, a place beyond the universe where the flow of time is kept. After making us run around and talk to NPCs, plus a quick change into more stylish clothing, Trunks welcomes us into the Time Nest, the home of the Kaioshin of Time, and the namesake of the city, Toki Toki, a divine bird who creates timelines. At the core of it sits the Time Vault, where the scrolls of eternity are kept, chronicling all of time. There, Trunks shows Celery just what has transpired in these corrupted scrolls. He says there's something we have to take care of, quote-unquote, not a big deal, as if the balance of time doesn't rest on our shoulders. During the battles against Raditz, Goku is supposed to give up his life to stop his older brother with Piccolo's help. But the scroll has changed, and now shows Raditz freeing himself from Goku's grasp, as Goku's pierced by the Makan Koza pool, and Piccolo is killed soon after. A dark aura covers Raditz, who now has Gohan to take back to Vegeta, and all of Earth under his boot. Celery agrees to help out, teleporting to age 761. Goku and Piccolo confront Raditz, and Gohan bursts out of the Saiyan pod with a rage boost to attack. But that same dark power allows Raditz to dodge, and he's about to kill Gohan. But the attack doesn't reach him, as the smoke dissipates. It reveals Celery blocks the attack and protected Gohan. Celery joins the fray, and the trio quickly defeat Raditz the same way as in the original story. The timeline has been fixed, and Celery disappears before Piccolo can ask any questions. Back at the Time Nest, Trunks explains that there are more scrolls to collect, so Celery teleports into age 762, the day of the Saiyan's arrival. The change this time is that the Cybermen have greatly powered up, leaving all of the Z fighters for dead, while Goku alone must face Vegeta and Nappa, who, just to really rub salt on the wound, have transformed into Ozaru. Sadly, Nappa's Ozaru isn't as bald as it should be. In order to fix the timeline, Celery shows up alongside Ten Shinhan and Yamcha to defeat these powered-up Cybermen. Other kinds of cultivars also show up, like the Tenenman and Jinkoman. Tien, Yamcha, and Chaozu are killed off screen. Sadly, Celery can't save them, as this too would alter the course of history. But the Cybermen are finally defeated by him and Piccolo. Nappa steps into the ring, also powered up by the dark energy. Celery keeps his guard up and slowly chips away at the Saiyan brute. But when he tries to kill Gohan, Piccolo jumps in the way and dies for his student. Kami, alongside the Dragon Balls, have disappeared. But this is the true history. Celery holds off Nappa until Goku finally returns from training with King Kai. Vegeta faces Goku, while Celery keeps Nappa busy and defeats him. All while Goku blasts Vegeta away with a Kaioken x4 Kamehameha. But Vegeta's not done yet. Using an artificial moon, the Ozaru transformation multiplies Vegeta's power by 10. Krillin and Gohan also join to try and cut Vegeta's tail off. Though, I guess not everything is back to normal, since Krillin cuts off Vegeta's tail instead of Yajirobe, since, you know, he isn't in the game. With the prince back to normal, Celery and the others jump him until he has no other choice but to escape back to space. Krillin is about to stop him, but Celery gets in the way. They may not know it yet, but Vegeta will become one of their greatest allies. Goku thanks Celery and promises to defeat Vegeta on his own one day. With history corrected, Celery returns to the Time Nest, to be met with a surprise. The Supreme Kai of Time and Toki Toki, the bird, landing on her head. She compliments Celery's abilities and how good of a team with Trunks he makes. But sadly, things are far from over. But at the very least, she has a clue as to what's causing all of this. A time-traveling duo. Interlude 1. Log entry. Time Patrol report. I thought fixing history would be simple. Find the anomaly, beat the bad guy, restore the timeline. But the more I travel, the more I realize something's wrong. These villains aren't just stronger. They're changing. Someone is feeding them power, watching us struggle, and whoever it is, they know the timeline better than we do. They know exactly what to change. But this only makes me more eager to fight. This is what Saiyans live for. Trunks has also tasked me with looking into parallel timelines. Through these quests, I've encountered many more strange scenarios. Things like helping Raditz defeat Kakarot and Gohan, protecting Earth from dozens of Cybermen, or even all 3 Saiyans attacking at once. Being a time patroller is a lot harder than I thought. The next mission for the Time Patrol takes place on age 762. In the midst of the Frieza invasion of Namek, the Ginyu force has been called in to take care of the Earthlings and Vegeta. Gohan and Krillin have been defeated, though Captain Ginyu lays on the ground alongside them. The Ginyu members do their super fighting poses, and reveal that Captain Ginyu has switched bodies with Vegeta. With the whole force together, they attack Goku and leave him open for another body change. With Goku now in Vegeta's body, the team attacks, and Ginyu finishes him off with a Kamehameha. Once again, the dark aura looming over him. Confused by all of this, Trunks asks Celery to deal with his father. And so, on planet Namek, we watch as the Ginyu Force show off their poses. They're about to face off against our heroes, though even Vegeta himself has that evil aura. Side by side with Vegeta, the heroes take on Captain Ginyu, while Goldo takes the Dragon Balls to Frieza. This evil Ki versus evil Ki battle is explosive. But the real distortion in history comes from the fact that Ginyu doesn't fight in the original story here. He doesn't get involved until Goku arrives. After rock, paper, scissors, Recoome begins his battle against Gohan and Krillin, who explode in power. The rest of the Ginyu Force notice that the captain is in a bad mood, unaware of the darkness that's consumed him. After a hard battle, Recoome is beaten down and ready to use his Ultra Fighting Bomber, what actually also happens to be Celery's ultimate attack at this moment. But his explosion gets stopped by the arrival of Goku, here to save the day. In a single blow, Recoome is defeated, and now Goku sets his sights on Ginyu, and soon after, Burger and Jaice join their captain without permission. Midway through the fight, Captain Ginyu declares that he likes Goku's body, spreading his arms wide for his body change. But just as he does this, Jaice kicks Celery into the middle of the blast, accidentally switching bodies with him instead of Goku. Now, Ginyu is Celery, and Celery is Ginyu? The captain yells at his squad. Despite them both being Saiyans, Goku's potential is way different. Still, Goku realizes pretty soon what's going on, while Celery desperately tries to find a way to switch bodies back. But this actually gives Goku an idea. They could use Ginyu's body to sneak into Frieza's ship and steal the Dragon Balls from the inside. Goku covers Celery as he rushes away and runs through the halls of the ship. He finally meets Gohan and Krillin, who look terrified. No, but I'm not him, Other Frieza soldiers find them, and slowly things become clear once Celery helps the heroes out against them. Fighting fighting all over the ship. They eventually run into Goldo, who thinks he's being punished by Ginyu for letting the Dragon Balls get stolen. I actually feel bad for him. After his defeat, the trio obtain the Dragon Balls and get ready to use them, but are stopped as Ginyu and Celery's body lands with Goku close behind. Together, they fight Ginyu, but he won't give up. Using the body change on Goku, Celery jumps in the way, getting his body back. Goldo steps in to freeze Goku in place and give Ginyu another chance at the body switch, finally putting things back to normal as Ginyu puts his scouter on Goku's body. But now it's time to beat Ginyu. Goldo tries to get in the way, but Vegeta intercepts him, calling Vegeta a monkey and their slave, which is insane. Just like in the original story, Ginyu once again tries to switch bodies, this time with Vegeta, but Goku gets in the way, and before Ginyu can try again, he throws a Namekian frog in the way, and Ginyu is finally defeated. This is honestly probably the most fun part of the story because of how chaotic it is. With things going back to normal, it's time to return to the Time Nest, but Celery senses a dark presence nearby. Out of the corner of a rock formation walks out a blue-skinned woman with pointed ears, and her large companion. This is the Demon Realm scientist Towa and her creation/husband, Mira. Because of the Time Patrol's interference in their plans, Mira challenges our hero to a fight to eliminate everything that's getting in their way. They have been the ones changing history, making it more interesting. As they put it, Mira is incredibly powerful, and Celery really doesn't stand a chance against him. He's about to finish the Saiyan off, but Towa stops him, asking just who he's working for. But Celery, the stoic and silent protagonist that he is, gives her the silent treatment. Towa chooses to leave him alone for now, curious about how things will transpire and how much he'll grow. That way they can extract even more power next time. Thus, the Time Breakers disappear into the next era. Back at the Time Nest, Trunks explains that Mira and Towa have been extracting energy from every era they make changes to. The Kaioshin of Time explains that they are inhabitants from the Demon Realm in the distant future. She also says that they're from Hell, but I think the writers or translators just didn't know that those are two different places in this context. Towa is actually Dabora's sister, the old Demon King. Mira is her creation. They are gathering energy to release the seal that contains the Demon Realm away from the outside realms. And if that happens, then the balance of the whole universe will fall apart. Upon hearing this, Trunks has an astute observation.
Oh no! Then they're horrible people!
But apparently, there was once another being that tried to do the same, but he was stopped by Cronoa. As they discuss, another change in history happens. This time, while Goku recovers in the healing chamber, Final Form Frieza kills each of the Z fighters one by one. In order to save Gohan, Goku leaves the healing chamber ahead of time. Because of this, Goku doesn't have enough strength to defeat Frieza, who is also powered up by the dark magic. So it's up to Celery to prevent this. We're back in age 762, as Frieza appears before our heroes, who have used the Dragon Balls to revive Piccolo. The Grand Elder then died, and the Namekian Dragon Balls were deactivated. Just as the fight is about to begin, Celery arrives, much to the surprise of Frieza. Vegeta is confident that if they work together, they can defeat the Emperor, especially now that he's close to being a Super Saiyan. Or so he says. Vegeta urges Frieza to transform and stop wasting time, but another change in the timeline shifts the battle. Instead of rising one transformation at a time, Frieza jumps straight into his final form. Surely, this isn't because the other forms weren't in the game, right? Frieza easily defeats Vegeta, while Piccolo joins the fight, until finally Goku heals completely and arrives back at the battlefield. Vegeta uses his final words to plead with Goku to defeat Frieza for the sake of the Saiyans, and all of those killed by Frieza. But the tyrant isn't backing down. Goku resorts to his ultimate technique, the Spirit Bomb, so it's up to the Time Patroller to take Piccolo's role and distract Frieza, as the living creatures in and around planet Namek share their energy with Goku. If this works, then the timeline will go back to normal. Frieza mocks Celery, saying that he'll die either way, only to be finally struck down by the sphere and seemingly die. It seems like it's finally all over. While the heroes celebrate, Celery sneaks off to return home, but is met by Frieza grabbing him by the throat, piercing through Piccolo, and blowing up Krillin. This extreme act of violence explodes the rage within Goku, pushing him into Super Saiyan. Frieza, enveloped by the dark power, shoots death beams all around the arena. Goku easily dodges them, but one inches towards Piccolo and Gohan. Celery protects them and joins Goku in the fight. History has returned to normal, but the Time Patrol must still help Goku finish off the Emperor. In desperation, Frieza fires a death ball at the core of the planet that will destroy Namek in merely 5 minutes, powering up into 100%. The battle resumes. Meanwhile, the Dragon Balls on Earth are used to return everyone killed by Frieza and his men back to life. Thus, the Grand Elder of Namek was revived, just for long enough for Porunga to return. At the sight of the dragon, Goku realizes that things will be alright, turning to Celery to thank him for everything, but tells him to please leave the rest up to him. Without another word, the Time Patroller returns to the Time Nest. History has returned to normal, though Trunks says that Goku always refuses their help. That's just the way he is. It does surprise them that Mira and Towa didn't interfere, however. While Trunks and Celery rest and celebrate, the Supreme Kai of Time takes a second to sit with Toki Toki. She realizes that their struggles against the Time Breakers are really messing up history, but that it feels as if there's more going on, another force messing with time. But surely, that's impossible, right?
Log entry 2. Time Patrol report. The battles on planet Namek were unpredictable. Between switching bodies and nearly dying, I'm not sure when I'll fully feel like myself again. One thing's for sure though, Mira and Towa are more dangerous than I could have possibly imagined. I have to get stronger to defeat them. Just like Goku, I admire how he wanted to take down Frieza on his own. And that transformation, I couldn't believe the Super Saiyan legend was real. I have to achieve it on my own. Starting now, I'll train harder than ever, by doing more of those parallel quest things Trunks has me doing. So far, I've battled Frieza's army that took over planet Namek, took the Ginyu Force entrance exam alongside Goldo to help him guarantee a spot, and even defended Frieza from Goku, defeated Krillin, and battled against the might of the Super Saiyan power myself. There's still so much more to do. I can only imagine what enemy will come next.
The next temporal distortion occurs at the very end of the Cell games, age 767, but this time, something feels different. Up until now, the changes in history have been more chaotic, but here, they're more specific, as if the Time Breakers are testing something, experimenting. The timeline has changed into a dark world, where the Cell Juniors have killed most of the Z Fighters. Gohan never reached Super Saiyan 2, and Goku has no energy to help his son, as he struggles in the Kamehameha battle. Turns out, it wasn't just Cell and his kids that were taken over by the darkness, but Mr. Satan too, out of all people. In the end, Cell overpowers Gohan with his very own father-son's Kamehameha, and Gohan perishes. Thus, we cut back in time to the start of the Cell games, as Mr. Satan runs at Cell. Not even the dynamite kick scratches the perfect android, who was corrupted by the villainous Ki and is about to kill Mr. Satan. That's when Cell reappears and kicks the champion away, before Cell can do any real damage. If only there was a video about the entire history of the androids and the Red Ribbon Army arc on my channel, you could watch right after this video. Mr. Satan yells at Celery. The android was clearly about to die. Mr. Satan joins Celery in the fight, barely doing anything really, all while the Z Fighters trash talk him for saving the fraud.
Oh, what a nice person. Saved that idiot and everything.
You know, I'm starting to think that Mr. Satan wasn't the one to kill Cell. When he rushes back in, Cell slaps him away, because of course he does. But Mr. Satan being pushed out of the spotlight angers him, and Towa takes this chance to power him up. He turns to the Time Patroller to challenge him to a fight, because he keeps getting in the way.
Stop getting in my way!
What?
While Goku steps up to the ring, Celery versus Mr. Satan, and Goku versus Cell. Even with this power-up, Mr. Satan doesn't stand a chance, though Goku's fight isn't going as well, with the arena limiting their movement. So Cell blows up the entire area. Satan doesn't give up, standing with the villainous power. Every time he comes back, it's an even more difficult battle. He may not be the strongest, but he is tenacious, until Celery lands a strong hit that knocks the evil out of him. Eventually, after an arduous battle, Goku steps down from the ring.
I give up. I learned how strong you really are. That's it. I quit.
And declares that Gohan is the next opponent, and the one who will finally defeat Cell. The android laughs at this, and not even Gohan himself believes it, but slowly begins to unleash more power, which piques Cell's attention. Perhaps he really has the hidden potential Goku claims, but he'll have to pull it out of him. Cell gives birth to the villainous Cell Juniors to take care of the Z Fighters while he continues to torture Gohan, his rage rising, all the while Celery helps out Tien and Yamcha. It's around this time where Celery uses Super Saiyan for the first time, the fruits of his training at full display. Celery has fought alongside the Z Fighters before, but this is different. This is the power that defined warriors like Gohan and Goku, yet he doesn't know just how far it can go, as Gohan struggles to keep himself grounded. his energy is boiling into something beyond. In reality, you get the Super Saiyan skill from Parallel Quest 14, where you fight against Goku and trigger his transformation while defending Frieza. With this new strength, Celery holds back the Cell Juniors as much as he can, since Android 16 isn't in the game. The one who pushes Gohan into Super Saiyan 2 is the Timebreakers themselves, exploding his rage beyond what anyone thought possible. In the original story, Gohan's transformation comes from his compassion being pushed too far. But here, there's no speech that opens the door for Gohan, letting him know that there are enemies who won't be beaten with words, that he's allowed to fight them. Instead, this is just pressure and a darkened heart, a gift from the demon realm. Now everyone fighting, except for Celery, have been affected by the villainous Ki. Thankfully, in Xenoverse 1, Super Saiyan gives you infinite Ki supers, until you run out. So Celery takes down the remaining Cell Juniors with the Recoome Ultra Fighting Bomber. Away from the battle, Towa complains to Mira that nothing is going their way. Is it because of Gohan? But Celery lands behind her, having located her energy. It's time to put a stop to this. The fact that Mira can sense Celery, even while at rest, proves that he's becoming stronger, and that's enough for Towa to decide to take his energy. Out of nowhere, Trunks walks out, finally deciding to actually help out instead of sitting back. Thanks, Trunks. Could have used your help before, but, you know, I get it. Together with Trunks, Celery battles Mira, finally making themselves known as the Time Patrol, coming from a different historical line. Towa reveals that they're conducting experiments for their future, and takes offense once Trunks insults her profession. These aren't random changes in history, they're harvesting it. Every fight, every distortion is energy for whatever comes next. She then disappears, with Mira battling the two Super Saiyans, but Trunks soon realizes that their attacks aren't working as they should. Instead, the energy from the battle is being siphoned out and absorbed. No matter how much damage Mira takes, it doesn't feel like he's getting any weaker. If anything, he's adapting. After a difficult battle, Mira is brought down, at least for a second. Trunks can barely stand, and Celery is injured. But Mira regains his composure like it's nothing, powering up further and further. Towa then returns, telling Mira that it's time to leave. As she finishes taking Gohan's strength, his dark power-up is taken away, and he drops to his knees. The Time Breakers disappear, and Trunks tells us to go back to the Cell games. Well, he says we should go back, but doesn't join us. I guess it would have been kinda weird to have two Trunkses there at the same time, so I don't fully blame him, even if one is dead now. Side note, this also means that, counting baby Trunks, there were 3 Trunkses around at the same time. Gohan musters all the strength he has left, and Celery's back to support him. Gohan wants to avenge his father, who just sacrificed himself to save Earth from Cell's self-destruction, but the boy's power is dropping fast. With the Time Patrol's help, Gohan is able to push Cell back into canon with the Kamehameha Clash. I feel like there was a missed opportunity here to have your avatar take Vegeta's role and blast Cell to distract him, but not even Vegeta shows up to do that. With that, the Cell games return to normal. Gohan defeated Cell, and history is restored. But the darkness brought by Towa and Mira continues to be an ever-present danger, and the Time Patrollers are none the wiser to an even more sinister foe looming in the shadows. And this time, Celery might not be enough. In fact, the next adventure leaves Trunks' very own existence in our hands. We cut to age 783, in the dark future where the androids have killed all of Earth's heroes, except for Trunks, who stands as the last remaining super warrior. Bridgetown, south of West City, is under attack. Android 18 and 17 have been taken over by the darkness, making them even more ruthless than before, and killing Trunks before he can escape and use the time machine. Not only that, but Cell has now awoken early enough to consume the androids. Back at the Time Nest, Time Patrol Trunks watches in horror as his own past is disrupted, beginning to fade away. If this change isn't corrected, then Trunks will disappear forever, just like Marty McFly in Back to the Future.
Well, this is happy.
The Kaioshin of Time explains what's going on, and how everything is about to change. Mira and Towa are trying to erase Trunks completely. There's nothing he can do, so it's up to Celery to save his good friend. Celery makes his way into the future timeline right as Trunks is facing the androids, arriving just in time. Trunks is confused at who he is, while 17 and 18 are excited to have a new plaything. It's a difficult battle, but this is a Celery who's faced Perfect Cell. He can handle it. Trunks is severely hurt by the end, but they're able to chase away the androids and live to fight another day. Trunks declares that he is aware of how much stronger the androids are compared to him, but that he survived thanks to the Time Patrol hero. As he turns to thank Celery, he disappears. It wouldn't be wise to spend too much time with someone who summons him in the future, though perhaps this only deepened their friendship. Suddenly, Towa teleports in. She knew that Celery would appear, mocking him as she dances around her staff, explaining that this is merely one of 2 changes in the future timeline they made. Trunks' fate has not yet been restored.
My body. We weren't able to. Look at it. It's turning transparent.
Towa is delighted by this outcome. There's nothing else they can do now. Celery goes in for an attack, but Mira gets in the way, and the Time Breakers leave. The Time Patrol has no idea what the other change could have been. While they try to figure it out, a presence makes itself known. Something strange and mischievous, dangerous. A pale man with red hair and Potara earrings. Celery isn't sure who this is, nor if he can be trusted, but the man offers his help. He can take Celery to the site of the second change. With no other choice, nor time, Celery takes the man's hand, a strange image imprinting on it. The man asks Celery to tell the Kaioshin of Time that they will meet again soon, teleporting Celery away. Now, on age 785, Trunks has returned to the past after the events of the Cell Arc. He's dead set on bringing peace to the future world with his newfound power. That's when he spots Celery, recognizing him from the last battle against the androids. He runs to him, but stops, sensing a presence, and powering up into Super Saiyan in a shocking turn of events. Perfect Cell stands before them, glowing red eyes and dark purple aura. This was the second change, releasing Cell early enough so he could absorb 17 and 18 in Trunks' absence. Trunks can't believe it, though Cell might be even more surprised that he knows so much about him already, concluding that he must have used the time machine, even with the Time Patroller around. Cell is overly confident about his perfect power, but Trunks' conviction is what gives him the strength. Together, Trunks and Celery destroy Cell and free the future from that monster. He can finally start rebuilding. Hopefully, nothing bad will ever happen here again, right? Trunks turns to Celery, thanking him. He asks just who he is and why he's helping though. Give it some time and you'll know, my friend.
So I'll know someday? That's not cryptic.
Before Trunks can ask anything else, Celery is returned to the Time Nest.
Where did he go?
Trunks is all back to normal, and he finally thanks Celery face to face for all his help.
I can finally thank you. Thank you very much.
He apologizes for the mess and making everyone worry. But the next issue is, who was that man that helped him? Not only did he intervene, but he had a strange energy and the ability to travel through time. Celery relays the message to Kronoa about the man seeing her again soon, which just confuses her even more. Honestly, where was she? Why wasn't she watching what was going on? Still, the message makes her worry. Could it really be him? But he shouldn't be able to escape his prison and into the outside world. For now though, there's nothing else the Time Patrol can do but to watch out for more timeline changes. Clearly, they have more to worry about than just the Time Breakers.
Log Entry 3. Time Patrol Report. Trunks gave me a real scare when he started disappearing. I don't think Kronoa and I could do what we do without him. When he thanked me after he went back to normal, it was like he'd been waiting to do that for many years. Can't focus on it too much now though. We've got bigger things to worry about. The man. Is he a friend or a foe? The Kaioshin of Time seemed cautious about it. Anyways, seeing Gohan's power against Cell made me realize there's still more out there. I can't get overconfident yet. My recent parallel quests have taken me to help Gohan train for the Cell games, battle the Z fighters at the arena, and defended them while being hunted down by future 17 and 18. It's been an exciting time, but honestly, this might start to take a toll on my psyche.
Age 774, Majin Buu has been brought forward thanks to Babdi's dark deeds, and the battle between Goku and Majin Vegeta. Now Goku is buying time by showing Majin Buu his various Super Saiyan transformations, landing on Super Saiyan 3. But something changes mid-fight. Goku's Kamehameha creates a cloud of smoke that reveals the dark key of 3 Majin Buus. Back at the Time Nest, Trunks continues to question how things like this can happen, as if he doesn't already know the answer. He can't use his powers yet because of what happened before. Trunks thinks that Towa may want revenge on Buu for killing the Bora, and so, close to the battle, Mira and Towa watch on. As it turns out, the Time Breakers are going to steal both Buu's and Goku's energy to finally make the Demon Realm their own. But Celery interrupts his path. It's time to put an end to this once and for all. Towa is in disbelief that they could save Trunks before, while Mira goes all out, only to slowly start to lose. Celery's power has clearly changed since the last time they dueled, and Towa grieves as their Mira is overpowered. It's a long and explosive battle that leaves both sides injured. The two warriors stare each other down for their final clash, and without another word, burst towards one another. Mira quickly turns from the other side to blast at Celery, but the Time Patroller dodges just in time and responds with his own. The final attack sealed his fate, and the demon is consumed, reduced to nothing. Towa's heart drops, but she can't do anything now. Cursing under her breath, she leaves to plan her next move. Hopefully, this is the last they'll see of them. But for now, Celery must go to Goku and help him battle against the multiple Majin Buus. They're quite a handful even for Super Saiyan 3 Goku. It's a completely unfair battle. He's restrained and open for an attack, but Celery kicks the third Buu away just in time, allowing Goku to free himself and explodes the two others. But Buu's regeneration is too powerful, and they quickly return. Now Goku and Celery take on what feels like a never-ending onslaught of monsters. Goku's Super Saiyan 3 won't last forever, so Trunks tries to convince Buu to give the heroes just a few more days so he can fight someone even stronger. Majin Buu wants to prove just how powerful he is, so he agrees. With that, Celery can return to the Time Nest. Trunks congratulates him for fixing the timeline once more and stopping Towa and Mira, but he realizes there's something glowing from Celery's hand, emitting a dark energy. Seeing this, the Kaioshin of Time runs in and asks for Celery's hand, extracting the glowing energy, a dark D. She quickly throws it up to the sky as it explodes. Terrified, Cronoa explains. There was once a villain who tried to control the Time Nest, the demon god Demigra. Standing over the Time Nest, Demigra makes his presence known and thanking the Supreme Kai of Time for taking care of things while he was away.
You know, I wanted to end you painlessly, but you just wouldn't accept the offer.
Demigra only helped the Time Patrol so that we could get rid of Mira and Towa for him. The demon requests Toki Toki, claiming him as his own, that he is worthy of this role and power. As far as she's concerned though, he's only worthy of being trapped in the crack of time forever. How could he escape anyways? Demigra won't answer. He just raises his staff for an attack, but Trunks quickly bursts forward and slashes clean through him, only to come out the other end and realize that he is merely a projection of the real Demigra. He disappears, but they will meet again soon. The patrollers gather together and discuss. Cronoa realizes that he must still be stuck in the crack of time, a dimension outside of time and space, used as a prison for him. He must have been pulling the strings behind the scenes. They need to deal with him fast, but another scroll has been corrupted. Demigra is the one changing history, weakening the crack of time in order to escape. This time he's appeared at Kami's lookout during Goten and Trunks' battle against Super Buu. He's darkened Piccolo's heart and turned him against his own students, beating them to a pulp. The kids lose consciousness, and we see Super Buu in the midst of battle against Ultimate Gohan, beginning to writhe back in pain, holding his head. And Demigra takes him over too. He rises up to the sky, and with a single ball of energy, destroys Earth. The Time Patrollers can't believe how much power and influence Demigra has while still in the crack of time. First, they need to free Piccolo from the mind control with a good strong punch to the face, because this is a Dragon Ball game. What did you expect? Talk no jutsu? Thus, Celery appears behind Goten and Trunks just as Demigra takes over Piccolo. Now the three of them team up to bring him back. Demigra mocks Celery the entire time as we battle his astral projection and Piccolo at the same time, all over the lookout. Finally, after landing a clean blow, Piccolo hits the ground and the aura dissipates from him. He's completely disoriented and has no memory of what happened. While Celery and the kids took care of him, Super Buu burst up, ready to challenge the warrior he was promised. Piccolo encourages the kids to fuse right away, though he can barely stand. The Saiyans show off their brand new technique, welcoming the Grim Reaper of Justice, Gotenks. They're able to hold off Majin Buu for long enough that he tries to get away and leave the lookout. Celery pursues as Gotenks defuses.
I think we need that weirdo to protect us.
Piccolo joins us too now that he's feeling better. Goten comments that Celery's evenly matched with Buu, which is kind of insane. He's come a long way since the battles against Raditz. Eventually, Ultimate Gohan darts down from the Kaioshin realm. Not only is he alive, but he's one of the strongest warriors in existence, and he's come to kill Buu. Buu's anger explodes further and further because he's being overpowered to such a degree, until Demigra breaks into his mind and snaps something within. Super Buu erupts and transforms into his original state, Kid Buu. The timeline has severely changed, but if Celery continues to fight alongside Gohan, then perhaps he can fix things again. In the middle of the fight, Kid Buu jumps back, holding his head just like in the scroll. He's pushed by Demigra into blowing up the planet. There's nothing anyone can do to stop him, but the timeline is actually corrected, because Goku and Vegeta appeared just in time to save whoever they could. Dende, Mr. Satan, and Celery, or something like that. It's a little weird. After regenerating, Buu was able to instantly locate Goku's energy and teleport where everyone is, the Kaioshin realm of Universe 7. Once they defeat Kid Buu, history will go back to normal. While keeping Buu at bay, Vegeta asks Goku just how many times he saved the world. Isn't it about time humanity saved itself? The proud Saiyan Prince suggests something unbelievable, the technique Goku learned to defeat him, the Genki Dama. Vegeta asks Dende on Namek to use the Dragon Balls to return Earth and its people, while Goku collects energy for the Spirit Bomb. It's now up to Celery and Vegeta to keep Kid Buu busy. Vegeta pleads with Earth to join forces, but no one will listen, until Mr. Satan steps in. He uses the one power he has, his voice and charisma, to convince the world to help. Finally, the Spirit Bomb is completed, and Goku throws it. But Buu is able to fight back, empowered by Demigra. Goku doesn't have enough strength to overwhelm him, but using the last bit of energy he has, Celery shows up by his side, like so many times before. The Time Patroller and Goku nod at each other. Bursting into Super Saiyan, they're able to push the Spirit Bomb into Buu and destroy him once and for all, though perhaps he could return one day as a good guy. Goku, Vegeta, and Mr. Satan can take a second to celebrate as the world cheers, including their friends over at Kami's temple. Mr. Satan thanks Goku and Vegeta, but when he turns to thank Celery, he's gone. Back to the Time Nest, another timeline safe. Trunks can't believe that Celery defeated Majin Buu, but the Kaioshin of Time isn't as happy yet. She's terrified that Demigra already has enough power to control someone as powerful as Majin Buu. She explains a bit more of his backstory, how she battled him 75 million years ago, and how he claimed the title of Demon God, and tried to escape Toki Toki, creating a realm where only he ruled history. She trapped him away in the crack of time, but he's been gathering his energy back through all those years, 75 million years. Damn. The next move for the Time Patrol is finally stopping Demigra. Meanwhile, in the crack of time, Demigra laughs as he awaits his inevitable return.
Log Entry 4, Time Patrol Report. I've never felt energy as terrifying as that of Majin Buu, but at the same time, I've never felt energy as pure as Goku's Spirit Bomb. It's been amazing to see Gohan and the others develop and grow over time. It's been months for me, but years for them. Now that we know who and what we're dealing with, I feel like I finally know the power to aim towards. In order to grow, I've had to take on even weirder parallel quests, where I battled many new Super Saiyans, over 30 Majin Buus, helped the great Saiyaman fight Cell and Frieza, and even clashed with a fusion of Goku and Vegeta alongside Super Buu. Things are getting stranger by the second, and it's becoming a bit of a Super Saiyan bargain sale.
The team awaits for a new challenge in the time scrolls, but nothing's changed. Just as Trunks wonders if Demigra has backed off, the demon appears right behind them.
I have waited 75 million years for this. Are you insane? I'll never give up.
Trunks says that there's no one strong enough for them to be a threat anymore. He better give up. Demigra just disappears to prove them wrong. And instantly, a time scroll becomes corrupted. Cronoa freaks out. Demigra has gone to the era where Beerus, the god of destruction, arrived on Earth. Or, as she puts it,
Beerus, the freaking god of destruction, went to Earth!
He's gonna try to take him over. Trunks has no idea about this era. nor who Beerus the Destroyer is. But if he turns against everyone, then the whole universe could be in jeopardy. And so, Celery is teleported to age 778, Bulma's birthday party. The movie version, of course. This is at Capsule Corp and not the boat. Everyone is enjoying their time, while Beerus complains about the lack of Super Saiyan God. Vegeta is eavesdropping on this conversation with Whis to make sure that everything's okay, and lamenting the fact that he had to do the bingo dance. Beerus gets up to ask Buu for pudding, and Vegeta rushes in to get one for Beerus, preventing the chaos. The god is about to take a bite when suddenly the ball Goten and Trunks were playing with is surrounded by Demigra's magic, and it shoots right into the pudding. Goten apologizes, but it's too late. Beerus' anger is palpable. With no more dessert left, he erupts his aura and sets his sights on destruction. Buu and Piccolo fight Beerus, as Celery jumps in as well. Beerus is disappointed that, although Celery is a Saiyan, he's no Super Saiyan God. Gotenks and Gohan also join in, but no matter what they do, Beerus isn't slowing down. He's sad about the fact that he'll never get to eat it. Trunks describes how Bulma approaches Beerus, only to get blown back, which causes Vegeta to rush at the god with an incredible boost, putting him perhaps even above Goku, but to no avail. Beerus has decided to destroy Earth.
Screw this. I'm destroying Earth and going home. Wait!
Just then, Goku appears. I guess in this reality, Goku just knows how to do the god ritual, since they never summon Shenron, but he explains how they need Saiyans with righteous hearts to pour their energy into him. This awakens a peaceful power, the Super Saiyan God. The flaming red aura is just what Beerus was looking for. And also Celery is there. Really kinda just getting in the way there, huh? This battle takes them to the underground caverns, where, for a split second, Trunks sees how Beerus' energy changed, and his eyes glowed red. Demigra is trying something. Goku isn't exactly happy about having to rely on others for this, but it is what is needed, especially seeing how Vegeta put aside his own pride. Goku has to do it too. Eventually, they fly all the way up above Earth, where Goku absorbs the power of the Super Saiyan God onto himself. But this battle wasn't enough for Beerus, who is surrounded by the villainous aura of Demigra and rises up to destroy Earth. Celery spots Demigra himself looming behind the battle, declaring the god of destruction as his puppet. Goku tries to do something, but he's completely out of power, getting caught by Whis, who flies him back down to Earth. Demigra is delighted by the prospect of his new kingdom, only for Beerus to turn to him and fire the energy sphere. Demigra dodges just in time. Beerus knew the demon was there the entire time. He just faked being taken over, so he would reveal himself. Beerus joins Celery, explaining how a god such as himself could never fall victim to Demigra's magic. Together, they begin to fight Demigra. It's nice to hear Beerus say that since Demigra is evil, he'll enjoy destroying him. Fighting in a team with him is definitely a highlight of the game, and with his help, Celery is able to push forward and pierce through Demigra's mirage, leading to him disappearing from this point in time. Beerus is now curious about what's going on, and returns to the Time Nest with us, much to Trunks' terror. It had been a long time since Beerus visited the Time Nest, and Whis is well aware that Celery and Trunks are the Time Patrollers hired by Cronoa. She's also scared of Beerus' presence there, and tells them just what's been going on. Beerus decides to destroy Demigra as soon as he escapes the Crack of Time, but the Kaioshin of Time pleads with him not to do it. If they fight there, then the whole dimension will be destroyed. But Beerus already knows that, and doesn't really care. The only thing she can think of is offering food, but even that doesn't work. The demons tried to use Beerus, and that's unforgivable. He even doubts the Time Patrol could even defeat Demigra the way they are now. But Trunks insists that they can win.
Please, just give us a chance. The lives of everyone I care about are on the line.
Why not try testing him?
Whis has an idea. Why not test the Time Patrol's ability? Trunks and Celery agree right away, as the Kai yells at them to do that elsewhere. The team departs to a desert, where they'll be free to really show off their abilities. Trunks and Celery do their best, going all out. This is their one chance to prove that they can finish their mission. For Goku, Gohan, everyone they've met along the way, Whis and Beerus are both surprised by their power, though the god really doesn't want to change his mind. Beerus is happy with the fight, but still hasn't decided. Instead, he tells Trunks that he's going home to take a nap before going after Demigra. It would be such a shame if someone else took care of Demigra in the meantime. With that, Beerus and Whis leave to their home planet. The final battle is about to begin. The Time Patrol has been preparing for the difficult battles ahead, knowing that if they fail, then they fail all of reality. Through the many changes and quests, they've met wonderful and terrifying people. And now it's time to save the history they share. Thus, the trio and Toki Toki come together. They felt an incredible power suddenly appear. Demigra has escaped the crack of time.
It's the revival of the demon god.
Resurrection D, if you will. He's clearly mocking the patrollers by ensuring they can sense his energy. Kronoa leaves Trunks in charge of Toki Toki as she leaves to try something, getting the Dragon Balls and summoning Shenron to ask for someone's help and power. Meanwhile, sometime around the Battle of Gods era, Frieza, Cell, and Majin Buu appear in West City, overtaken by Demigra's dark magic. But the Time Patrol is one step ahead. Celery is already there, even if they aren't exactly sure what's happening, but they suspect it has something to do with the Dragon Balls. Each one of the villains has their own goal: to prove himself the strongest, to get revenge on the Saiyans, to cause chaos. But before Celery can get too hurt, a figure comes rushing down: Son Goku. This time he's well aware of the changes in time. He was the one summoned by the Kaioshin of Time to help out our heroes. The villains are excited to finish off Goku, but they won't get a chance. Celery even uses Frieza's own Emperor's Death Beam against him. One by one, Goku and Celery take down the villains, proving that history isn't something to be messed with so easily. But when the final villain drops, 3 more warriors enter the arena: Ultimate Gohan, Super Saiyan 3 Gotenks, and Super Saiyan Vegeta. At first, Trunks thinks they've arrived to help, but they begin attacking Goku and Celery, just like with Piccolo before. These 3 heroes have turned on their friends thanks to Demigra. It's a tragic turn of events, as now the Time Patroller is forced to fight the same people he's fought so hard to protect this whole time. But that's exactly why he has to fight them, to break them out of his mind control. The 3 Saiyans finally falter and break from the manipulation. After the battle, Goku approaches Celery. He tells him not to worry about them. He'll return everything back to normal using the Namekian Dragon Balls. But it's up to Celery to take care of Demigra, at least for now. He'll catch up later. Meanwhile, at the Time Nest, Toki Toki flies peacefully, when suddenly the sand clock in the center starts to crack. Filled with dark magic, it explodes into Toki Toki City, darkening the skies into a blood-red color. From the smoke appears the demon god Demigra in all his glory. Flesh and blood, no mirage this time. With a wave of his hand, he traps Toki Toki in an energy sphere, eating it like candy and swallowing it whole. Demigra is now free to take control of not just Toki Toki City, but the concept of time itself. The siege on Toki Toki begins, but Celery quickly appears to stop him, fighting over the ruins of the city and the hourglass. The city we've come to love and protect has been reduced to chaos. The world and everything within. The ultimate battle between good and evil. Who's gonna win when the sand clock dictates the consequences? Will our heroes have the strength to be the last line of defense? Demigra has had a front row seat to his growth for a while, and knows how strong he is. In fact, he could use a warrior like him. Demigra offers Celery a spot in his new empire, saying he could live like a god. But the Time Patroller is a man of few words, and responds with a punch to the face instead.
No thanks, bro.
Even if Celery won't work for him, perhaps his friends will.
It's too bad. Seems that your friends do my bidding now.
Celery turns around to see Trunks taken over by Demigra, the man who's become his mentor and a good friend, now a simple puppet. This is something he can't ever forgive. The Kaioshin of Time advises us through the battle, but Demigra mocks her, calling her the ex-Supreme Kai of Time. He proclaims that, by defying a god, she's been sentenced to divine retribution. Now both Trunks and Demigra are after Celery. All he can do is hold his own while he awaits help. And he actually manages to do quite a bit of damage on Demigra and free Trunks from the brainwashing. Demigra grits his teeth and disappears. The hurt Trunks uses a sword to stand up, while the patrollers try to sense the demon out, but he reappears behind Celery and traps him within a magic sphere, overwhelming him with darkness. He attempts to corrupt and control Celery's heart. He tries to fight back, remembering all the adventures he's had ever since joining the Time Patrol. Trunks bursts forward and slashes through the magic, and though it slows down Demigra, Celery's still on the verge of being taken over. This gives Cronoa the chance to run in and use her own counter magic to free Celery. She says that Demigra's magic will no longer work and to just give up, but he's not done yet. Demigra's power increases to an incredible degree. His speed, strength, and abilities are unlike anything the Time Patrol has faced before. But we ain't giving up just yet. All the odds are against Celery. Midway through the fight, Goku teleports in. He's come to help us. This is much to Demigra's chagrin, who's angered by the fact that no matter what he does, his magic doesn't affect Goku for some reason. But it could be because of the Super Saiyan God ritual. He's reached a new level and obtained God Ki. Together with Goku, Celery pushes back Demigra down to the sand below. Trunks and the Kaioshin run up to them. Did they do it? Is Demigra finally defeated? Trunks can barely stand and apologizes, asking where Toki Toki is. Since Demigra swallowed him, they have to get him out. Celery goes down to retrieve the body, but Demigra burns up in strength and rises once again, teleporting away. Thankfully, Goku's able to quickly locate him as they all grab onto Goku and instant transmission behind Demigra. They end up in the Time Vault, which is being overwhelmed by Demigra's magic, tearing itself apart. He's trying to get rid of it all. Cronoa tries to tell him that they will die, including Demigra himself, but he already knows that. He insists that once everything is gone, he'll just restart and make his own history, summoning several energy spears around him. Goku roars into Super Saiyan 3 and rushes at Demigra, followed by Celery, and though Goku can dodge them all, Celery is pierced through the chest. This makes Goku turn to see, and he too is taken down by the spears. As Celery loses consciousness, the last thing he sees is Goku on the ground, the Kaioshin of Time still challenging Demigra, and a time scroll. Then, nothingness. But a bright light wakens him up. He is nowhere he can recognize, an endless, beautiful void. He walks into a scroll, opening it to read it. The scroll emits a blinding light that reveals to Celery exactly what happened, how Demigra overwhelmed them and destroyed everything they held dear. Shaking with anger and frustration, Celery realizes what he must do. With this time scroll, he will change history and win, like he's done hundreds of times before. He holds up the scroll and travels to age 850. Goku and Celery are on the ground, about to be killed, while Demigra disappears into a portal. But a shower of ki balls rains down upon our heroes, destroying the spears. Cronoa looks up to see Celery. Goku holds back the energy sphere, while Celery rushes through the portal. Time is the one thing they don't have right now. Celery enters the crack of time, where Demigra has escaped to shield himself from the destruction of the Time Nest. The demon god is freaking out. He can't believe Celery is still alive. He has no other choice but to take every ounce of his magic and overflow himself with it.
We'll defeat you! You shall rue the day! Erase your miserable life from history! When I'm through with you, you will have never existed!
Mutating into a beast, Demigra's new state is stronger than it's ever been, and it's up to Celery alone to save it. Demigra claims that no one who has ever seen this state has lived to tell the tale, and Celery will be no different. He uses many strange techniques, like geometric energy grenades and his breath of darkness. Here is where the timeline can go one of two ways. If our hero struggles against Demigra a bit too much and takes too long to defeat him, then Goku's able to locate him using instant transmission and instantly burst into Super Saiyan 3. It took a while for Goku to find the energy, but the Time Vault is safe. All that's left is getting rid of Demigra once and for all. Together, Celery and Goku do everything they can against him, but his energy keeps getting worse and worse. In a last-ditch attempt to win, the monster comes rushing in with all his energy placed onto one punch. Celery and Goku stand by each other and nod, a silent understanding between them. At once, the duo cup their hands together and gather ki. The twin blasts swirl together with the hopes and dreams of tomorrow, merging into a raging blast that clashes against Demigra. But his power is too much, and he starts to overwhelm them both slowly, fueled by pure anger and greed. Goku encourages Celery to let it all out at once, as together they press forward. Finally, The time-breaking Kamehameha consumes Demigra, and he's turned to dust, leaving behind nothing but Toki Toki's energy ball. The crack of time begins to shake and fall apart. As the Saiyans dodge a falling crystal, Celery catches Toki Toki and frees him. Goku grabs onto him and Celery, and together, they escape back to the Time Nest. There, the Kaioshin of Time heals Trunks when they suddenly see someone walking towards them. Goku and Celery. Even Toki Toki. Cronoa runs to them to celebrate, as does Trunks. It's finally over. However, there is an alternate ending. If the Time Patroller defeat Demigra fast enough, so fast that Goku doesn't have enough time to locate their key, then Demigra rushes at him just like normal. But Celery is alone, getting energy onto himself for a final Kamehameha. Celery fires it all with all his might, but without Goku, this power just isn't enough, and he starts to get pushed back with no way to win, when suddenly...
Don't give up!
Goku!
I know you're stronger. I can feel it.
From beyond the crack of time, Celery can feel Goku's presence giving energy and cheering him on, but he's not alone. Vegeta, Gohan, Piccolo, Krillin, all the friends Celery helped along the way, the incredible fighters he's inspired by, merging together with his spirit for one final push. Right. Thank you, guys. Celery's able to pour in more of his energy forward and win. As the crack of time falls apart, Toki Toki is freed, and he surrounds Celery with his energy to bring him back home. Finally, time is safe. Cronoa thanks everyone for their hard work, but their job isn't done yet. Demigra may be gone, but other foes will try and disturb time and space. Trunks is happy being a time patroller, and he asks Celery if he'd like to join him too. After all, they make a pretty damn good team. Celery agrees enthusiastically, and Cronoa can't help but smile. Goku, though, is more interested in fighting Celery and see just what he's made of. Celery is ready to fight too. But Cronoa yells at them to stop. If they break the time vault, then what was the point of all of this? Together, the team laugh. Finally, they can really laugh. After things have settled, and Toki Toki was rebuilt, Beerus floats by the sand clock while eating some fruit. Whis tells Beerus that it seems the heroes have won, and that maybe it wasn't worth staying up for. But Beerus is actually excited to see just what the Time Patroller is made of. They depart, while the Kaioshin of Time thanks Goku for his help and makes him promise to visit sometime. But far away, a cracked crystal laid on a barren wasteland. Towa approaches it and takes out a clump of tissue, what little remains of Mira. It calls for more power to grow, and Towa will give him exactly that. Then they will get revenge on the Time Patrollers.
Because you are truly my greatest masterpiece, Mira.
Just wait. Soon we'll return to crush those who stood in our way.
Back at Toki Toki, Trunks, the Kaioshin of Time, and Celery are recruiting new members to their team. They spar against Celery to prove their worth, and Celery just sends them flying out. Maybe he overdid it a bit.
Well, for the time being, we have to work together.
The story of Dragon Ball Xenoverse has come to an end. But there are more villains to defeat, more friends to meet, and adventures to be had. Above all, more Time Patrollers to recruit. But for now, there is a little bit of extra adventures to cover.
Log entry 5, Time Patrol report. Finally, we've defeated Demigra. It was the hardest battle I've ever had, but it was all worth it. I thought I'd be able to relax a bit, but now Trunks is saying there's other weird stuff going on at different points in time, and alternate timelines. Maybe Towa's back, but it doesn't really matter. I've just got to get ready. I need to pay back Goku and the others for their help against Demigra. Surely this next one won't be as difficult.
Following the defeat of Demigra, things calmed down, at least for a bit, until Cronoa called on the Time Patrollers once more. A new scroll has been distorted, and she explains how it's likely that a wormhole is messing things up this time. A tunnel that's sucking beings into other dimensions. It seems like this is a leftover trap from Demigra's attacks. The goal now is to find the wormholes and destroy them. So Celery is sent away to age 737, the battle site of Bardock and the ultimate demise of the Saiyans. As Bardock is about to face off against the Frieza Force, Celery appears from a bright flash of light to help him out. These soldiers are imbued with dark energy. It will be too much for Bardock to make it all the way up to Frieza. Together with him, Celery takes down dozens of Frieza Force goons. Bardock is thankful that another Saiyan actually believed his story and came up to help him, and isn't remotely surprised by the appearance of the Super Saiyan. How about that? After a long battle with many Ultra Fighting Bombers performed, Frieza exits his ship. Another change has occurred. Frieza isn't supposed to battle Bardock directly. Celery helps Bardock push Frieza back until the timeline is restored, and the Emperor destroys planet Vegeta with a giant death ball. But right before it reaches Bardock, he's swallowed by the wormhole. Celery has no choice but to retreat. Trunks was actually worried for a second that he got caught in the explosion. Now the team has to follow the wormhole so they can try and find Bardock. But locating the next rift is difficult when Demigra isn't making these changes directly, so Trunks has a lot of reading to do to find it. Eventually, Trunks zeroes in on a change in history right before it happens, and tells Celery to go check it out. Celery finds himself on age 774, near a village by a waterfall. At the center of it all, Goten, Trunks, and Videl are facing off against Broly, the legendary Super Saiyan, a monstrous Saiyan with incredible power, but still no Bardock. It doesn't matter though. First, they need to deal with Broly, who has been transformed into an even more powerful monster because of the change in history. The team has to keep him busy until Gohan arrives, and he does. The tables do indeed turn, to the point where they're able to take down the legendary Super Saiyan, but before they can finish him off, he too is sucked up by the wormhole and dropped off who knows where. Celery teleports away, leaving Trunks and Goten wondering just who he was. The crew is perplexed while trying to figure out where Broly and Bardock could have ended up, and sometime later, Trunks calls Celery back after finding yet another strange change. This takes Celery to age 762, planet Namek's destruction. But we aren't with Goku this time. Instead, Bardock and Broly are facing off against each other. Bardock must have gotten one hell of a Zenkai boost. Celery lands by Bardock's side. Trunks realizes that Demigra is trying to make Broly attack Goku. By working with Bardock, the Time Patrol realizes that he can't see the future, and actually somewhat figures out what's going on. He now promises to keep Broly away from his son, who has the destiny of taking down Frieza. But before either side can get too far ahead, they're all teleported away at once. The wish on the Dragon Balls to take everyone to Earth, besides Goku and Frieza, has landed them back at the battle site of Goku and Vegeta. In their confusion, Broly slams Bardock away and turns his attention to Celery instead. It seems like Broly is only getting more dangerous, and he's got the Time Patroller against the ropes. And while Bardock is extremely hurt far away from the battle, he's suddenly found by Vegeta, the prince of all Saiyans, who thought he sensed Goku. To his surprise, he finds a different Saiyan, but Bardock actually gets an idea. As Broly punches Celery away, the ginormous Ozaru Bardock jumps back into the fight. He had asked Vegeta to create an artificial moon so he could power up and battle Broly again, destroying the moon so that Broly wouldn't turn as well, implying that Broly must have a tail too then, weirdly enough. So, with the Great Ape as our ally, the fight continues, all while Vegeta freaks out upon seeing the legendary Super Saiyan. He finally musters the courage and rushes in to fight with us. Now this quadruple Saiyan rumble turns into full-on chaos as Broly refuses to yield, but is finally taken down by a good old Kamehameha times 10. With Broly down, the dark energy leaves his body, and Bardock too falls, returning to normal. Vegeta is totally confused, wondering if Broly was finally killed. And then, he's knocked unconscious. Trunks has appeared to take care of everything, and return them back to their normal time. At the Time Nest, Cronoa explains how the wormhole was destroyed in the planet Namek explosion. Trunks is still surprised by Broly's power, and just how similar Bardock was to Goku, which makes the Kaioshin of Time reveal that she actually really likes Bardock because of that bad boy attitude, wondering if he has a girlfriend, which, of course, he actually has a wife, Gine. Cool to see them refer to this Z Bardock having a wife too, since this was years before Minus would be adapted. For being weird about it, Toki Toki attacks the Kaioshin, and things once again return to normal, for now, at least. But other wormholes remain. Since that extra story wasn't the last we'll see of Celery, Xenoverse had a couple of DLC stories.
Log Entry 6, Time Patrol Report. Just when we're out of the frying pan, we're dropped into the fire. Demigra may be gone, but those wormhole portal things are becoming a real annoyance. Broly was a crazy powerful foe. I'm surprised the heroes had to beat him so many times. Could you imagine if he returned again? As far as parallel quests go, things keep ramping up. Fighting Frieza, Cell and Buu, again and again. I even got to have an all-out Saiyan Rumble after fighting alongside Ozaru Bardock. I feel like I've seen it all. I'm ready for whatever comes next. Though, I really hope I don't have to fight another Great Ape again. I've kinda had my fix of them.
The Time Patrol gathered together to discuss the fact that another wormhole has shown up because of Demigra, but this time it's affecting a completely different timeline. Dragon Ball GT. This time, Baby has taken over Vegeta and created new planet Tuffle, taking over the entirety of Earth. Now we jump to age 789. There, Super Saiyan Present Trunks is about to attack Pan, just as Celery appears. Words aren't enough to get to him. On top of Baby's egg affecting him, Dark Ki also surrounds Trunks. Pan is surprised about Celery, but thankful that another Saiyan out there hasn't been taken over. While he defends Pan from Trunks, Goku is attempting to get a new power, Super Saiyan 4. Baby Trunks even tries to trick Pan into letting her guard down by pretending to be back to normal, but it doesn't work. As Trunks is brought down, the ginormous Ozaru Baby lands on the battlefield, also empowered. The monkey rampages through the city. At the same time, elsewhere, Goku transformed into Golden Ozaru. It's a hard-fought battle, but between a few throws by the tail, Goku enters as a Super Saiyan 4. Celery and Goku knock Baby to the ground, but before they can completely destroy him, the wormhole opens up above Baby and sucks him away. Trunks tells Celery to return to the Time Nest, but before he leaves, Goku stops him and thanks him for helping Pan. So Trunks welcomes Celery back, but now there's another scroll Trunks needs to get through, slowly getting used to his role of being the Kaioshin of Time's personal librarian.
Guess this is what grown-ups have to put up with.
Thus, when Trunks finds the scroll, the team gets ready to dispatch Celery back into GT to go after Baby. Then the Kaioshin of Time mentions how Baby was so strong as to take control of Trunks, and then they get into an argument about how it wasn't technically him, but he did also get taken over by Demigra, so whatever. There's a whole running plotline in present Trunks. It's kinda sad. Trying to change the subject, Trunks sends Celery back to a city, where Frieza Force members are attacking it. This is the moment where Dr. Gero and Dr. Mew created a new Android 17 to open the gates to Hell and onto Earth. While he fights hordes and hordes of enemies, Trunks decides to talk about his personal issues and trauma dump, about how he created an alternate timeline by using the time machine, and that the new Trunks is the one that got taken over by Baby and not him or whatever. Really not the time right now. He finally gets the hint though, and a new set of enemies shows up, none other than the Ginyu Force, but without Ginyu. The new leader of the Force is Nappa. They strike their new stylish poses, and the battle begins. They're trying to go after Goku and Vegeta in revenge, but during the battle, Nappa is attacked by GT Trunks, who defeats Jason Birder. He tells Nappa that Vegeta doesn't even have to fight the likes of him, and Xeno Trunks starts to respect him a little more. And then he starts to lose the fight, to which Xeno Trunks in the Time Nest yells at him to snap out of it. Finally, the team take down what's left of the Nappa Force, but while Trunks and Celery take a second to breathe, Trunks is blasted out. Android 17 has appeared, possessed by Demigra's magic, while Xeno Trunks explains that this 17 is supposed to merge with another into Super 17. The android starts to creepily say, "Hurry, hurry, hurry," over and over.
Become one with me.
But 17 stops the fight when he finds his counterpart, and Celery chases after him. The two 17s stand in a sea of pillars and merge into Super 17. Trunks can even sense his incredible power as Demigra's magic takes him over. Finally, GT Goku arrives. If we help Goku defeat Super 17, then the distortion in history will be healed. But whatever is thrown at him gets absorbed. Goku has to step it up a notch and transform into Super Saiyan 4, and together, Celery and Goku defeat the Super Android. But before Celery can land another punch, Super 17 is taken away by the wormhole. Goku recognizes it from the last time, and tells Celery to make no mistake, he will pay him back. At the Time Nest, the Time Patrol realizes that Demigra is likely trying to use Super 17 and Baby to change history even more. Maybe. It seems Kronoa isn't actually completely sure either. Things are getting more serious, so the Kaioshin insist on assuming this next battle will be their final chance. But first, tea. Later, Trunks presents Celery with a new, especially evil time scroll. A third wormhole distortion contains the story of the Shadow Dragons, created by the negative energy within the Dragon Balls. Goku, Pan, and Giru are facing off against Nova Shenron. When Giru runs away, Pan goes after him, leaving Goku and now Celery to fight the Fire Dragon. Goku wants that specific Dragon Ball back because it's the 4th star, his grandfather's ball. He's an extremely dangerous opponent whose mere touch burns. And what's worse, he's been powered up by magic too. During the fight, Pan is attacked by Ice Shenron, while Goku continues to battle Nova. Celery leaves to help her against Ice. Together, they pay him back for attacking Pan, with the girl finding her fighting spirit, so her grandfather wouldn't have to save her every time. Upon taking down Ice, Pan looks for the Dragon Ball, and Giru locates it, because it's right behind them. Omega Shenron, having already absorbed all 7 Dragon Balls. Pan and Celery are ready for the battle, but none other than Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta lands in front of the girl, telling her to stay back. Planet Vegeta may have been destroyed, but he won't allow his new home, Earth, to suffer the same fate. Though Omega argues that it's their own fault, since he's born from the overuse of the Dragon Balls. But Vegeta can't do it alone, especially when the dragon's powered up. Goku appears, and Vegeta begins his plan. 3 versus 1 may help their odds, but the only way to guarantee their victory is fusion. The 2 Super Saiyan 4s join forces into Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta, the ultimate warrior, and the one who will destroy Omega. It's a much easier battle from there, but although Omega is taken down, a new wormhole appears above the warriors. With nowhere to run, they're all taken away by the portal. The 2 heroes land in a wasteland, where Super 17, Omega Shenron, and Ozaru Baby Vegeta land. Thinking quickly, Celery destroys all the portals above, but do they have enough power to defeat this terrifying trio? The Shadow Dragons show that for every good that's done, further the evil seeps inside the very spirit that makes the good compete. Together just to prevail, this righteous duo can't fail. They all want to take down Goku, and they even recall Celery's interference in their battles, and swear revenge on him too. Xenotrunks mentions how the Android 17 from another era wasn't like this at all, and that this one is being controlled. Baby loses ground while complaining about wanting a better body, but that's exactly why he's losing real power of his own. And Omega Shenron, he won't get to erase all the good the heroes have done. From now on, humanity will rely on each other to rebuild, not just the Dragon Balls. And with that, the monsters are defeated. Gogeta celebrates Celery's power and defuses. It was an exciting time to fight together. Vegeta tells Celery to take care of the ones that came out of the wormholes, but Xenotrunks interrupts, appearing before his father. He hates that he had to be on the sidelines this whole time, but Vegeta is more surprised at seeing Trunks, specifically this Trunks from the future timeline. It's a sweet reunion between them. Sadly, it's already time to return. It was nice to see each other again. Vegeta extends his hand out to Trunks, and they bid farewell. Goku waves away the Time Patrol, and the Kaioshin of Time welcomes them back to the Time Nest. Trunks apologizes for breaking the rules, but it's fine. Things turned out well. Now that all the wormholes are destroyed, they can finally take a break from all the patrolling. And as a reward, she's preparing a full meal. Celery's excited, but Trunks is concerned. So far, Celery's been able to avoid her cooking, but this may be the most difficult quest yet, more destructive than any Shadow Dragon. And while she talks about what a privilege it is to eat a god's cooking, darkness and shadows remain amidst the Time Vault, waiting for the next time to strike. Yet, the timeline remains at risk. But wherever there is a distortion in history, the Time Patrol will be there to defend the timelines.
Log Entry 7. Final Time Patrol Report. Things have been calm for a while. I could get used to this, but I do miss patrolling too. Fighting Broly, Omega, meeting Gogeta, these are terrifying adventures I've had to face. Yet, they're all so exciting, and they've only helped me get stronger and stronger. There are still parallel quests to tackle, of course, some easier than others, like fighting a bunch of good guys who've been taken over by evil, facing off against Broly during his first appearance, even fighting a bunch of great apes at once again. What may be the craziest was a new development where Frieza showed back up on Earth, and I had to fight him in this weird golden state, while Goku and Vegeta welcomed Super Saiyan God Super something like that. Clearly, there's still so much more to learn. I've heard that Trunks and the Kaioshin of Time are planning on expanding the Time Patrol, bringing in a whole new generation of powerful recruits. Though it's gonna get cramped here in Toki Toki City. Maybe it's time to open up the area a little bit. I have a couple names for the city written down. Whatever the case, I'm just excited to go back to exploring the universe, the multiverse, Xenoverse even. For now though, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. Time Patroller Celery, signing out.
I made this video not just to show off my character and tell his story in this way, but because Xenoverse is now 11 years old. It's honestly hard to believe now that we've had so many Dragon Ball movies, games, and series ever since then. But this was one of our first steps into that new Dragon Ball era. And now that it looks like we're getting Xenoverse 3, I thought it was a nice time to look back. And when I do, I see more than a story about fixing time travel and a broken history. I see our story. Because although Celery isn't real, at the same time, he kind of is. Everyone who played this game had their own version of him. Their own Saiyan, Namekian, Majin, human, their own hero standing beside Goku, fighting Frieza, making sure those moments we know and love stayed exactly as we remember them. And that's why, despite all its flaws, and how it got pretty much rendered obsolete by Xenoverse 2, I still think Xenoverse 1 matters so much. Other games did do this before, like Dragon Ball Online and Ultimate Tenkaichi, but this was the one that reached the most people and really exploded. It let us step into that dragon world and fight for it. And I think that's the real takeaway. The Dragon Ball gives us more than cool fights. It gives us characters we love and lessons we take with us along the way, to keep pushing forward, to keep improving, to stand back up no matter what. Because at the end of the day, being a Z fighter is more than just about power. It's about the kind of person you choose to be. And this game let us choose. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed. Be sure to check out my video explaining the whole entire history of the androids and the Red Ribbon Army in Dragon Ball. And I'll see you guys in Xenoverse 2.